Hi, I'm Alex Roman, Executive Editor for Metro Magazine, and welcome back to METROspectives. Today, I'm joined by Peter Picknelly, CEO of Peter Pan Bus Lines in Springfield, Massachusetts, which was named our Motorcoach Operator of the Year at this year's UMA Expo. Today, Peter joins me to discuss winning the award, what has kept Peter Pan successful for close to 90 years, and much more. All right, thanks, Peter. Thanks for joining me. Again, we'd like to congratulate you on being named Metro's Motorcoach Operator of the Year for this year. Can you talk a little bit about how you feel winning the award and sort of the work that Peter Pan puts in to be recognized?
Listen, it's a great honor. Metro is a terrific publication, and it's a significant honor. We are extremely proud to be your Motor Coach Operator of the Year.
It's a testament to the longevity you guys have, and can you talk a little bit about some of the keys that have kept Peter Pan moving even through the pandemic and over the years?
Well, listen, listen. We like to stay ahead of the curve, or certainly, as our passengers, buying habits change, as their wants and desires change. Hopefully, we're agile enough to change with them. And we've been around for 90 plus years, and we try hard to adapt to what our consumer wants.
It's a testament to be able to find new ways to innovate and to grow the business. You guys, we talked little bit about your recent contract with Megabus. Can you talk a little bit about that, how that came about, and how that's helping the business continue to grow, 90 some odd years later?
Well, listen, we have a good relationship with most all carriers in the industry, and certainly those we have friendly competition as well. So our relationship with Megabus started 3 or 4 years ago, where they were interested in exiting the Boston to New York City market. So we made arrangements to take the route over, but we worked together. You could buy a ticket on the Megabus site or the Peter Pan site. Peter Pan operates 100% of the service, and both websites fill the bus with passenger reservations. So that was our first relationship. It worked out well for both companies. We're both benefiting from it. So it was just a natural evolution that when Megabus decided to get out of its other Northeast markets, that we would continue that relationship. It's been a good relationship for 3+ years now, and it's even better today.
Yeah, and how's that business going? I know we just wrote an article about that a couple of months ago. What has been kind of the immediate results of taking over some of that service or more of that service?
Immediate result is significantly increased volume. So we are running virtually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from New York to Baltimore and DC, and from New York to Philadelphia, which are very popular destinations in the Northeast, right? So we've increased service significantly, and it's to the benefit of the consumer. I mean, they now have a much higher frequency of service. Listen, what makes bus travel so popular is high frequency of service and economical fares. And that's what our industry offers, and that's what Peter Pan tries to offer.
Yeah. And with this service, I know you guys had to add vehicles and also had to add drivers. And at a
Right.
time where the industry, it's very difficult for a lot of operations, a lot of industries that have drivers is having an issue attracting drivers. Can you talk about some of the things that Peter Pan has done to get drivers through the door and some of the things you're doing to kind of retain them and keep them on board?
Listen, hiring drivers is an industry problem, and certainly Peter Pan's not immune to that. We have certain pockets where it's more difficult to
Mhm.
hire drivers. There are certain cities that you would, like New York as example. We have great success hiring drivers there. Other
Mhm.
cities like Boston and Cape Cod, not so fruitful. But listen, we've got sign-on bonuses. We have expedited training. We are taking applicants that don't have CDL and bringing, holding their hand throughout the whole course. So we're doing all sorts of things. We're certainly doing a lot of advertising, electronically, and with, other websites, to attract drivers. And then, listen, it's important that we retain them as well.
Mhm.
And we're very fortunate. Some other carriers, you know, don't have as consistent a work opportunity as we do here at Peter Pan.
Right.
All of our drivers get home at night, right? So that's an advantage. All of our drivers, what makes us a bit unique, is our drivers bid on their work. We don't assign any work. We always take the position that drivers who are, doing what they want to do, what they choose to do, are going to do a better job. So
Right.
our drivers don't get assigned work. They choose where they want to go. And it allows, and now we have an app for drivers because it's all electronic.
Right.
Drivers can now see weeks in advance of the upcoming work and they can plan their life accordingly. So it's things like that help us attract drivers and retain them.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, you guys also technology has played a part in your growth as well. Can you talk a little bit about how that came into effect with the Megabus contract and how it's going to help with other companies that you partner with and just for yourself in growing your business?
Well, I think the technology has it makes it way better for us to plan. It makes us much more agile at the line of scrimmage to add buses and
Mhm.
drivers. But it also makes it much more convenient to take the bus for customers. Pre-pandemic, about 50% of our sales were still at the bus terminal, where people would show up, a half hour before departure and get on the bus. And it's pretty hard to plan for that, right? Um, but 100% of our service is reservation based and capacity managed. But again, 50% of our customers are showing up at the last minute, and it's hard to predict that. Post-pandemic, that has dramatically changed. Well over 90% of our customers are buying in advance, on our website, on Megabus website, on TransCore, which is our platform.
Right.
And so it allows us much more planning capability. So we now, there's, a lot of the anticipation is taken out of it. And we know well in advance how many buses are needed on each schedule, and we can plan for it. That's what is so convenient about bus. We're very agile. We can add, unlike trains or planes, we can add another bus on a
Mhm.
schedule that's got a high demand on a particular day, or adjust due to weather and other things like that. So technology has allowed us way better planning capabilities, but it's also given the customer a better service because now with technology, a consumer can change their ticket, right? Right up until departure time, they can change their ticket. We get a fee for that. And actually it's a significant source of income, with change fees. So a
Mhm.
consumer can change their plans right on their phone in advance. And what we can also do, Alex, is say someone comes early, right? Because there's high frequency of service. So say you're on the 2 o'clock bus and you show up at 1:15, right?
Mhm.
Or you could show up for the 1 o'clock bus, right? We can take you off the 2 o'clock, right? The driver scans can scan that passenger in standby. They can get on the earlier bus and it opens up the seat on the later bus. I hope I articulated that properly, but the consumer now has more choices. Even though they may have had a reservation for the 2 o'clock, They can get on the 1 o'clock if there's seats.
Yeah.
And listen, it just adds to the convenience of bus travel.
And it gives people more options, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not, they're not locked into, I mean, thankful for the frequency, but also they're not locked into, having to make it somewhere, especially that could play a big role in some of your commuter services.
absolutely. I mean, consumers, our commuter operation, which continues to grow. That was the most affected by the pandemic, right? Because
Mhm.
people just weren't working. But now more and more workers are coming back, and we have technology now with a commuter, even though they have a reservation, which is help which they want, so they know they have a guaranteed seat. They can change their departure times anytime they want on their phone, no penalties, and it still gives them the guaranteed seat that they want.
Right. And emerging from COVID, what do you think that you learned as an operation coming out of that that maybe you didn't learn previously, or that maybe, wasn't as evident maybe after the recession or after 9/11 or some of the other things that have impacted the industry?
Well, I think what we mostly learned was that the consumer wants more flexibility that we just talked about.
Mhm.
Wants the ability to change their ticket, not be locked into a particular schedule if they don't have to, or if their plans change, they can change it on the dime. The consumer now is doing most all of their travels right on their mobile device,
Right.
right? So it actually allows us to do better planning, but it also makes it much more, flexible travel for the customer. So they're not, while they have the comfort of knowing they have a reservation and a guaranteed seat, they also have the luxury of knowing that they can change their travel should they choose to do so.
Yeah. And so, what do you think is kind of the future for Peter Pan? I'll start there. I think I'm interested in asking you with the future of the industry as well. But for Peter Pan, looking into 25 and beyond, what do you see? What can we look forward to Peter Pan, doing and being able to grow as a business?
Listen, we're blessed with having an operation that's in the Northeast, which is probably the best, bus routes in the country. Certainly one of them, right?
Hmm.
We serve about 100 cities in the Northeast, from Boston to DC, and we've got these huge, population of cities: Boston, Hartford, New York City, Washington, Philadelphia. We're some huge metropolitan areas, right? Close together, right? All within a couple 100 miles of each other.
Hmm.
So I see us continuing to grow our footprint in that area. And I also see us working much closer with other bus lines in uh, providing seamless service. We're doing that now with Adirondack Trailways, where you can now buy a ticket on peterpanbus.com, and you could take our bus to Albany and then switch to Adirondack, and where they could take you to upstate New York and to Canada, right? Haven't had that technology before, but TransCore, which is our platform, now allows our website to talk with, Adirondack Trailways. We're doing similar with Academy and other carriers. So
Hmm.
um, I see having our site much more flexible, having more destinations, because we're working with other carriers, and those carriers also selling onto our product. So I think the synergies of companies working together is something that's a big focus for Peter Pan in 2025, along with growing our current footprint.
Yeah. Great. And from the industry perspective, how do you see the industry today versus where it was, previous to the pandemic?
I think our industry is just getting so much more sophisticated. Again, with the planning, with the flexibility of travel. Um, again, trains can go where the tracks are. Airplanes go where the airports are. The bus can go anywhere. So as our consumers uh, uh, travel plans change, we change with them. So we have many vehicles where we communicate with our customers where they want to go, how often they want to go. We see trends where we can add service. So, I think the future for bus transportation is really bright. More and more people are riding buses. Population in the United States is growing. Cities are getting larger. Congestion pricing like New York makes it more difficult for consumers to drive, and certainly more expensive. So I'm very bullish on our industry. I think there's lots of opportunity for more and more people to take the bus, and we're looking to capitalize on that.
Great. Well, Peter, I appreciate your time. Is there anything you'd like to add about the award or about the operation? Maybe something I missed?
No, listen, we are really proud to be Metro's Operator of the Year. And, my hat's off to everyone who works here. They work hard, and we've been blessed with some really, really great people to work for us. So I'm thankful to them, and I'm thankful to you for this terrific award.
Well, our hats off to you, and it's a real honor to give the award to Peter Pan Bus Lines. Thanks again for your time.